I'm sorry to keep you waiting for a few minutes. I don't know if we had traffic or snow or ice, but I'm not used to driving on these icy roads. But I appreciate you all coming out to listen to me speak for a few moments. So, and before I do, let me just be frank with you. I've been losing my voice for the last few days, so I'm not getting emotional up here. It's getting a little raspy, and we want to save it a little bit for tomorrow. But I wanted to just once again talk about what's at stake in this election. You know, there's a lot of noise out there about the election. It's often covered as a sporting event. You watch some of the promos on television for debates, some of the promos for the election nights, you think you're watching like an athletic competition. And it is a competition. But it's a competition for the future of America. What we're deciding is what kind of country are we going to leave for our children? What is America going to look like when my 16-year-old daughter graduates from college? When my 13-year-old daughter starts her first business? When my 10-year-old son buys his first home? When my 8-year-old son starts his family? What will America look like in the 21st century? That's what's at stake here.
Yes.
Now here's the bad news. If we stay on the road we're on right now with Barack Obama and what he's done to this country, if we stay on the road we are on right now, we are going to be the first Americans that leave our children worse off than ourselves. And that's the road we're going to stay on if Hillary Clinton wins this election. And she cannot win this election. And so for us, the number one priority must be to defeat her in November, and that means as a party, to nominate someone that can unify us, that can grow this movement, and can defeat her in November so that we can put this nation on the right track once again. And so, as we look at ourselves as we make this decision, the only way that we defeat Hillary Clinton is if we nominate someone. It is interesting, though. You got someone being, the Democrats are going to nominate someone that's under FBI investigation. That's usually a bad sign. But we. Before we can get to what are they serving back there? Love you, Rubio! Before we get to November, okay, we have to decide what our party is going to be about in the 21st century. What the conservative movement's going to be about. Where do we at our best? The conservative movement is at its best when it appeals to people's hopes and their dreams. When we acknowledge our struggles and our challenges, look, this is a tough time. You're living it in your life. You know that the changes in our economy for working class Americans have been very hard. The jobs that used to sustain our working class, some of these jobs are being replaced by machines or being sent to other countries, so they just don't pay enough anymore. Times are difficult. We have to acknowledge that reality, but we should not take advantage of that reality. And we are at our best when we appeal to people's hopes and dreams, when we acknowledge that times are tough, but we offer a way forward about how times are going to be better. We are at our worst when we appeal to those fears and to anger and to frustration as the base of our movement. There has never been in the history of the world a great movement built upon anger and frustration. There has never been one. Anytime. Should we allow it to motivate us? Yes. Should we allow it to define us? Absolutely not. And so, one of the things I pointed out in the last debate, and will continue to do, is that today, although it's a very unusual frontrunner in Donald Trump, because usually, when you're the frontrunner, everyone is saying, please, everyone get out of the race so we can unify around the frontrunner. What people are saying now is, please, everyone get together so we can keep this frontrunner from winning. Why do people say that about him? Is it because, I'll tell you why. Number one, he's never voted in a Republican primary in his life. Number two, to the extent we know where he stands on the issues, they sound a lot like Hillary Clinton. He spent a valuable amount of debate time last week defending Planned Parenthood. He says when it comes to Israel, he's not taking sides. He agrees with government's like what Obamacare is like on issue after issue. Now he says he wants to change the First Amendment to make it easier to sue people that say mean things about him. I don't think there are enough lawyers in the world or judges to hear those cases.
You waiting for your subpoena from him yet?
So we cannot continue to move in this direction as a party. We cannot elect someone who's trying to carry out a con job. Look, one thing is to tell people, I'm going to stand against illegal immigration. But you hired illegal immigrants to build Trump Towers. He goes around saying he's going to protect American workers, but Donald Trump, he hires foreigners to work in his hotels in Florida, not the 300 Floridians that applied for those jobs. He says that he's going to bring back jobs from China. Well, he could start today by announcing that from now on, all the Donald J. Trump clothes will be made in America instead of being made in he is promising to do for the American people what he has never done in his business life. And he's done this before. He did this with an institution called Trump University. People signed up for this program, they borrowed money to go into this program, they have nothing to show for it. Literally dozens of victims of that scam have come forward to contact us because of how angry they are about the fact that they now see that he is trying to do to America, what he did to them. If we choose Donald Trump as our nominee, we will lose in November. If we choose Donald Trump as our nominee, we will put in charge of the conservative movement someone who is not really a conservative. And if we choose Donald Trump as our nominee, he will have carried out the most elaborate con job in the history of American politics. And the stakes aren't just a worthless degree. That was bad enough. The stakes are the very future of our country. So what is the alternative? Who will follow the Constitution of the United States. Donald Trump has never shown a commitment to the Constitution. I have, and as president, I will. I will defend the First Amendment. I will not undermine it or try to change it. I will defend your Second Amendment right to protect yourself. I will follow the 10th Amendment, which is we're going to return more power to states and communities. And on my first day in office, you can count on this, I will immediately repeal every single one of Barack Obama's unconstitutional executive orders. The solution is to elect a president that will embrace free enterprise, not cronyism, not corporatism. And I will, because I have seen that free enterprise works firsthand. Not because my parents were wealthy, but because my father was a bartender and my mother was a maid. And they had jobs because free enterprise works. Because someone who had access to money invested that money, risked that money to build the hotels they worked in. And with that money they raised our family and provided us a better future. We are going to make America the best place in the world to create the best paying jobs of the 21st century. It's not just a slogan. We have ideas to do that. Don't you deserve, as voters, to know our ideas? Donald Trump offers no ideas on any of these issues. How can we elect someone that doesn't have any policy? I know that we come to a time in American politics where you get a lot more attention by saying bad words on television than you do by offering a serious proposal. But you're going to continue to get serious proposals from my campaign. I encourage everyone to go online, Rubio.com, and you'll see we have a real plan to fix our tax plan, to fix our tax code. We have a real plan to roll back regulations. We have a real plan to fully utilize our energy resources and bring even more manufacturing back to America. We have a real plan to save Social Security and Medicare and balance our budget in the process without affecting it for people that are on it now. And we have a real plan on health care, not just the lines around the states. We have a real plan to repeal and replace Obamacare once and for all. commander-in-chief, not the weak one like the one we have right now. And certainly not Donald Trump, who thinks the nuclear triad is a rock band. The world is a dangerous place. This is no time for irresponsibility or recklessness. This is no time for a commander-in-chief that thinks Vladimir Putin is a great guy. This is no time for Donald Trump as commander-in-chief who thinks China should be admired because of how harsh they've been on their people. This is a time to understand that the world has grown more dangerous with a lunatic in North Korea with nuclear weapons, with the Chinese hacking into our computers and taking over the South China Sea, with Vladimir Putin sowing instability in Europe and in the Middle East, with Iran about to get $100 billion of sanctions relief. Jihad is spreading all over the world. In the face of all of this, our current commander-in-chief is weakening and gutting our military. We're soon going to have the smallest army since the end of World War II, the smallest navy in a century, the smallest air force in our history. That will change when you elect me president. Because we are fake war, a real one. Yeah! The best intelligence agencies in the world will find the terrorists. The best military in the world will destroy them. And if we capture any of them alive, they're going to Guantanamo. We are going to stand with our allies when I'm president. Donald Trump says he's not taking sides when it comes to Israel. I'm taking sides. We will be on Israel's side. And everyone will know that on my first day in office. Because on my first day in office, I will cancel Barack Obama's deal with the Ayatollah of Iran. We're going to take care of our veterans again when I'm president. Can you raise your hand so we can thank you for your service? God bless you. They'll tell you we don't take care of our veterans anymore. When I'm president, we're taking care of our veterans. There are good people at the VA. They work hard, and I thank them for what they do. And then there are people at the VA that are not doing a good job. When I'm president, if you're not serving our veterans at the VA, you will lose your job at the VA. You'll be fired. When I'm president, our veterans will be able to take their benefits to any hospital or any doctor they want to go to. By the way, the other day in Virginia, a couple days ago, a tragic outcome reminded us that our veterans often don't stop serving when they come home. You go to any fire station in America, you're going to meet a veteran. You go to any police department or sheriff's department in America, you're going to run into veterans. The other night in Virginia, 3 police officers were shot and 1 died. And the one who died was a Marine reservist on her first day on the job. And so I want to thank our firefighters and our police officers for everything they do. As you can see, there's a lot of work to be done. But first, I don't even want to know. Please don't tell me you're sick of it. Then I got to explain it to the media. There's a lot of work to be done.
Amen.
But first, we have to win this election.
Yeah.
We can't lose this election to a socialist like Bernie Sanders. Lose this election to Hillary Clinton, who, by the way, is unqualified. She's disqualified for being candidate. Because she lied to the families of the victims of Benghazi. Anyone who lies to the families of those who have died in the service of our country can never be the commander-in-chief of the United States of America. I love coming to these events. I always see a lot of young faces in the crowd. And I have a great source of pride about that so many young people come out to our events. By young, meaning anyone under 44 like me. And, but a lot of people in their 20s, 30s, and teens.
Yeah!
So I want to speak to all of you, but I know we all care about them, so I want to speak to them specifically for a moment. Because this election is so much about them. It really is. I know there's a lot of negativity today about the future, so let me begin by saying this. If you study history, you find out very quickly that every generation thinks the next generation is messed up.
Amen!
All of you know your parents thought your generation was ruined, right?
Yes!
Because the Beatles' hair was too long, because Elvis moved his hips on television, because you wore bell-bottoms,
I too.
because you listened to MC Hammer if you're from my generation. I think our young Americans, they call them millennials, people born after 2000, I think you have a chance to be the next great generation.
Yeah!
I think the world today is very different, but I think it's tailor-made for America. There are literally hundreds of millions of people on this planet who can now afford to buy things from you, partner with you, trade with you, invest with you, become your customers and your clients, your investors and your collaborators. Young Americans are the greatest collaborators in the history of mankind. They're the most innovative people you'll ever see, the most technologically advanced you'll ever meet. You have incredible potential.
Yes.
The 21st century is made for you and it's made for America, but you need the people in charge now to give you a chance.
Yes.
You won't have that chance if you inherit $20 trillion in debt. You won't have that chance if you inherit a world where America's weakness has led to the growth and of the strength of our enemies. You won't inherit that chance if we abandon the free enterprise system that allows anyone from anywhere to achieve anything. You won't inherit that chance if we walk away from our Constitution and the principles that protect our God-given rights.
Amen.
Because you see, the things that make America special were never automatic. The nation that made my dreams possible and yours is the direct result of the decisions that were made by the people who came before us. For over 2 centuries, we have been a country where each generation did what they needed to do to leave the next generation better off. Now the time has come for this generation to do its part. And for me, this is deeply personal. My parents, they came to America in 1956 with no advantages. They had no money, they barely spoke English, they had no connections, not much of an education. Less than 10 years after they came here with nothing, my parents owned a home. They retired with dignity and security. They were all for their children like themselves. This is called the American dream. It defines us as a nation and as a people. If we ever lose it, we stop being special. We're on the verge of losing it now. You elect me president and we will not.
Yeah!
President of the United States.
Yes.
For the first time in 8 years, you're going to have a president that no longer pits you against each other or divides you to win elections. And you will have a president that will work every single day to ensure that this generation does what needs to be done to ensure that our children inherit what they deserve.
Yes.
I'm asking you for your vote. You make me our nominee. I will unite this party, we will grow it, and we will win this election. And I want you to know what history is going to say about us. It is going to say that this generation lived in the early years of this new century in a very difficult time. And it will say that after 8 years of Barack Obama and a very weird election, we almost got it wrong. But then we remembered who we were.
Yes.
And then we remembered what America was.
Yes.
And like the generations that came before us, we confronted our challenges and we embraced our opportunities. And because we did what needed to be done, these young Americans became the freest and the most prosperous Americans that ever lived. And the American dream, because we did what needed to be done, the American dream didn't just survive. It reached more people and changed more lives than ever before. And it will say that because we did what needed to be done, the 21st century was better than the 20th century. It was a new American century. But we have to do it now, and we have to do it this year. And that's why I ask you for your vote. That's why I ask you to come out and get other people to vote for me. Because friends don't let friends vote for socialists. And friends don't let friends vote for people under FBI investigation. And friends don't let friends vote for con artists either.